Welcome to the first class in a series of 3 Pilates classes. The focus here specifically is for people that struggle with SIJ problems, so their sacro-iliac joint, also with sciatica and things like that. So there's certain movements we're going to stay away from. For this first class, we're going to do a little bit of a warm-up and into some standing exercises before we go down. So I'll explain as we go along. So I want you to start with your feet parallel. If it's more comfortable for you, you can have them slightly turned out. So you're going to find a position where you're not stressing the knees or the hips too much. You're going to keep those knees a little bit soft. You're going to think of zipping up from your pubic bone to your belly button so you really engage that core. And we're going to just start by rolling the shoulders up and back. And we're going to work really softly and gently to begin with. You might also find if you've got problems in some joints, you're going to feel problems in many joints. So if you struggle with those shoulders, it's a good idea to loosen them up before you start putting any pressure on your hands and your shoulders. Now, hold onto the shoulders with your fingers and circle those elbows. We're going to do 4 more. It doesn't have to be big, even small is okay. I'm just keeping my knees a little bit soft. Now we're going to take full arms, big circle. And you can start to just gently bend those knees a little bit, just to start warming them up. 2 more. Let's reverse it. Open and cross. Open and cross. Remember that feeling of zipping up from your pubic bone to your belly button. Think of engaging that pelvic floor. And now we're going to reach the arms wide and soften them in. Reach them wide and soften them in. Now what I want you to think of as you're reaching, you're thinking of those shoulders drawing down your back. Let's do 2 more, and again, just a little bit of gentle bending in the knees, just to get the knee joints loosening up a little bit too. And now we're going to bring those feet into parallel. You're going to take a nice deep breath in, going up to the top of the head. From there, you're going to soften your knees, drop your head, and roll down through the spine. At the bottom, shake your head, make sure it's nice and relaxed. Take a nice wide breath in, and breathe out to uncurl. Sucking that belly button into the spine. Really try and let your shoulders and your arms dangle. When you get to the top, you're going to breathe in again. Nice, deep, long breath. Breathe out. Soften the knees. Feel the weight of the head. Rolling down through the spine. Shake that head at the bottom. Make sure it's relaxed. Keeping those knees bent to uncurl. Suck that belly button in. And just let the arms dangle. Try not to hike those shoulders up as you come up. We're going to do that one more time. Nice, long breath in. Breathing out to drop the head and slowly roll it down. At the bottom, shake that head. Make sure it's relaxed and breathing out to uncurl. The whole time pulling the belly button into the spine. Okay, so we're going to do one standing exercise that essentially is still part of our warm-up. We're going to do a little squat and lift. So it doesn't have to be deep. And lift. And squat. And lift. Now what I want you to think of as you squat, you should be able to see your toes in front of your knees. So your weight is going right back onto your heels. You're drawing that tummy into the spine because as you go down, that tummy needs to support the back. We're going to do 2 more of those. And draw into those heels downwards. Squeeze those bum cheeks as you come up. Can we hold it down for 3? Pull the tummy deeper. 2 and 1 and push it up. Try that again. 3 and 2. Really pull that tummy in like you've got a tight belt on. And you're pulling your tummy off the buckle of the belt. We're going to do just 1 more of those. Sitting into those hips. And up. And release. And we're going to shake it out. And we're just going to do a few more of those squats. But this time we're going to add some arms. So let's just go back into that squat. You're going to take the arms forward. Push down as you come up. Reach forward. Push down as you come up. So I want you to really think of those elbows next to the ears. Again, you're pulling that tummy into the spine. As you push down, imagine you're pushing through water. Reach the sit bones right back behind those heels. I'm sure we can do another 4 of those. After this, we should feel like those hips are nice and warm. Let's do 2 more and then we're ready to go down to the floor. And 1 more. And give it a little bit of a shake. We're going to take it straight down onto all fours. So we're going to start off with those hands underneath the shoulders. Make sure that they're not too far away. Your knees are under your hips and you've got space in between those legs for your imaginary leg. So we're going to mobilize that spine by going into a bit of a cat stretch. Tuck the tail under, big stretch. And now release the tail, release the chest and go into a little bit of an arch. And again, tuck that tail under, scoop the tummy in, nice big stretch. And release into your cow. Let's do that again. Tuck the tail under, scoop the belly button in, and release into cow. My dog barking. And let's do that again. Tuck, nice big stretch, pushing out the shoulders, and releasing into that cow. Let's do 1 more. You're going to really draw that belly button in, push out of the shoulders, get that stretch, and releasing into that cow. Now if you need to take a little bit of a break and to wriggle out those wrists, you can do so before we go into our next exercise. So we're going to stay on all fours for the next exercise. So finding that position, we're going to take one leg out behind us, pull that tummy in, other arm goes forward, and we go into our bird dog. So we lift and lower. Now you don't want to turn that leg out behind you. Especially if you're a dancer, you're going to want to turn that leg out to lift it high. It's not so much about height, it's about working from those glutes so both hip bones stay facing the ground. Also don't lift too high that the back collapses. You've got to really pull that tummy in. And of course we're still working with that arm and lower. We've got 2 more on this side. 2 and lower. We've got 1 more and lower. So we're going to bring it in so that we can shift the weight onto the other wrists. Take the other leg behind, reaching forward with our opposite arm. And lifting it up. And lower. So we're going to keep changing sides so that we don't remain on one wrist for too long. Now the other thing I want you to think about is as you lift that arm, that shoulder stays away from your ear. So imagine you've got long diamond earrings on. You want to keep that leg for those diamond earrings. And lift, keep sucking the belly into the spine. We have 2 more on this side. 1 more, release. Now if you need a little moment to take the weight off those wrists, and if you're struggling being on your knees for so long, give yourself a bit of a breather, pause the video, take yourself off those knees for a little bit, otherwise we go on to our next exercise, and this is our last exercise. This is our last exercise in this position. We're going to lower it down to our forearms. You're going to extend the first leg, pull that tummy in. Now we're going to lift it up, cross it behind your leg and tap. Lift it up and take it slightly open. And lift, cross behind the other leg. So we're making a rainbow. Lift and open. And again lift. Cross it behind and lift and open. We're going to do 4 more. We're working nice and slowly. Try not to collapse into those shoulders. Keep extending to the top of the head. We're going to do 3 more. Cross, lift, and open. Where's that tummy? Are you still lifting it? And cross, and lift, and open. We have 1 more to go. Lift, and cross. Last one. And open. Now if you can stand it, you're going to hold that leg up there. Flex that foot and pulse it. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the knee in. Take the weight off those wrists and shoulders. Shake everything out for a moment. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side, and then we are done in this forward position. So you are going to be on those forearms. Extend the other leg behind. Start by lifting it up and making sure both hips are facing the floor. And we go tap, up, and open, up, and tap. So you want to try not, as we go open, to push into the opposite hip. So we're trying to keep the weight even on both elbows. And open, lift, and cross. Try and close those ribs. I want you to imagine that you've got a clothes peg on your ribs. And keep zipping that tummy up against your belt. And open, cross, 4 more. Keep trying to activate the back of the neck so you push the head upwards. So we're not letting it completely collapse, and we're not collapsing into those shoulders. We have only 2 more to go. Keep zipping up that tummy. And we're on our last one. And hold it there, flex that foot, pulsing it up. And 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. And now you get a chance to rest your wrists and to get out of that position. Okay, so to give ourselves a rest from being on our front, we're going to go into a side lying position. I want you to start off by getting your heels in line with your sit bones. You might have to start having a bit of a look at that first. Then you're going to rest your head on your arm. So you don't want to be up here because that puts that neck out of alignment. So we're going to lower the head down so that the neck can be in alignment. Now the other thing I want you to do before we start is pull this hip away from the ribs so that you have a nice long waist from the top and a long waist from the bottom with space underneath for your abs. We're going to open the knee up into a clam opening and close. And open. So you can put your hand on your hip here to check that that hip is not rolling back. You want to try and keep the hips nice and still, and we are only rotating inside that hip joint. So we're just externally rotating. So it might be a very small movement depending on how much mobility you've got in that hip. If you find the shoulder starts to get a bit tense, then put that hand in front. Another option is to put the hand behind the hip to push forward with that hand so that you can check you don't roll backwards. And of course, you want to keep zipping up that tummy and not just let the tummy hang out on the mat. So now I've lost complete count of how many we've done, but we're going to do just one more. Keep zipping up that tummy and close. Now we're going to keep the bottom leg bent. We're going to put this hand on the floor so we've got a bit of traction on the floor, and we're going to extend this leg. We're going to push into that elbow, bend this knee and try and tap on the outside of the leg, and then we're going to lengthen that leg and reach, and push and tap, and reach, push and tap, and reach, push and tap, and reach, push and tap, and reach. We have 4 more to go, and a 4, and reach. We have 3, and reach. We have 2, and remember you can take a break at any time. It's completely up to you. And reach. Okay, we're almost done on this side. So now we're going to rest our head back on our arm. We're going to bring this leg a little bit more forward. Now again, you've got to try and get that nice long waist on both sides. We're going to hover this leg, zipping up. We're going to flex the foot, swing it slightly forward, point the toes, and then swing it back a little bit further than your body. Flex, swing it forward, point, swing it back. Flex, swing it forward. Now this arm can be on the floor to help you to find some stability so you don't feel like you're going to roll off the side of your body. Flex, swing it forward. Are you zipping up that tummy? You don't want that body to be rounding out. You want to keep that spine nice and long. And point, take it back. We've got 2 more to go. Flex, swing it forward, and point, take it back. 1 more to go. So when you take it back, imagine there's a door behind you, and you're going to push that leg against the door and bring it in. Now we're going to flip it over to the other side so we can do the same thing on both sides. Getting nice and comfortable with that neck on your arm, heels in line with your sit bones. Let's take that hip away from the rib and make nice length on both sides of the waist. Hand wherever it's comfortable, and open the clam, close. Keep zipping up. Think of those tight jeans on. So do that zipper from the pubic bone to the belly button. Open and close. My whole menagerie is here. Close. Open and close. You place the hand behind the hip if you want to check that it's not rolling back. Close. Keep zipping up. Really draw the belly button into the spine. Open and close. So we definitely did more than 8 on the other side because I was talking so much. So we're going to just do last 4 here. We've got 2 more to go. We've got 1 more to go. And now we're going to reach this arm in front. We're going to extend this leg out. Take it over. Pushing into this elbow. Tap. Reach. Tap. And reach. I'm going to go a little bit slower than my music. You don't want to rush it. Take your time, breathe out and reach. Breathe out and reach. We have 3 and reach. We're almost there. We have 2 and reach. Last one to go. 1 and reach. And now we're back to our third exercise. Lying on our side, resting your head on your arm. Bring this leg in front, 90-degree angle. Remember to reach that leg nice and long so that both sides of the waist are long. Hovering the leg, flex, swing it forward and point, swing it back, close the door. Flex, swing it forward. So it's going further back than in line with your body. And you're going to access those glutes. Flex, swing it forward, point, swing it back, close the door. Flex, swing it forward, point, swing it back. We have 4 more to go. 4. Swing it forward and point. Swing it back. We have 3 more. Swing it forward and point. Swing it back. Last 2. And bring it forward and point. Take it back. We're down to our last one. Are you still zipping up? And taking it back and relax. Rub it out if you need to. We're going to now flop over onto our front so that we can work on those postural muscles. So you're going to start off with your nose hovering above the mat. Your legs are hip width apart. You're going to place your hands either on the mat or just on the outside of the mat so that your elbows can be nice and flat on the floor. So we don't want those elbows flying up like wings. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to tilt your pubic bone into the mat. This way you open out that lower back and you're going to suck that belly button in. Squeeze those glutes. Now imagine you roll a marble forward with your nose. You're going to push into those arms to lift up to the top of the head. Keep those elbows on the floor. You're going to crack a walnut between those shoulder blades and relax it down. Let's try that one again. So we go. Pubic bone into the mat, tummy in, squeeze the bum cheeks. Roll the marble forward. Reach up to the top of the head. Try not to break the back of the neck. Get that neck nice and long. Releasing it down. Again, pubic bone to mat, tummy in. Roll the marble forward. Crack a walnut and reach up to the top of the head and releasing it down. And again, pubic bone to the mat, tummy in. Roll the marble forward. Crack a walnut, reaching it up. And we lower it down. One more time, pubic bone into the mat. And reaching up to the top of the head. Squeeze those shoulder blades together and releasing it down. We're going to give our back a little bit of a break, so just stretch it out for a moment. If you can't completely collapse onto those heels, just go into your nice cat position, like my cat's showing you, and stretch it out. Okay, we go onto our tummy again, and this time we're going to get the hands on either side of our legs. Palms facing your thighs. Same position, nose is hovering above the mat. Press the pubic bone into the mat, suck the tummy in. You're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together and you're going to lift up those collarbones. Now you're going to hover those legs and we're going to swim those legs. So this is called the swimmer. Shoulder blades are cracking your walnut. You are kicking those legs from the hips. 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. And again, press it out. Round out that spine, either in your cat stretch or into your recovery stretch. You're going to repeat that same exercise. So we go one more time. Palms facing your legs, reaching through your fingertips. Remember, you want to tilt that pubic bone into the mat and suck the tummy in. Lift up those collarbones, hover the legs and swim. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Push it up and round it out in your cat stretch or in your recovery. After you've had a couple of breaths there, we're going to flip it over onto the mat so that we can now work on our back in our supine position. Okay, so we're going to lie down on our backs. You're going to bring those sit bones, those heels close to your sit bones. Make sure your legs are in line with your hips. You've got a gap in between for an imaginary leg. Your hands are going to start by reaching towards your heels. So you activate those lats. Now can you give me a slight pelvic tilt and pull that belly button into the spine. So you make sure that that lower back doesn't pop off the floor. We're going to float one leg off the floor. Deepen that connection to float the other leg off the floor. So you don't want that back to arch. Now we're going to lower one leg gently down and then lower the other leg down. And only once both feet are down can you let go of that connection. Let's try that again. Belly button to the floor. And floating one leg. And floating the other leg. And lower one foot down. And lower the other foot down. We're going to do that one more time. Make sure you connect to float one leg. Float the other leg. And lower it down. And lower it down. Now we're going to do the last one to stay there. Connect and float. And float. Make sure that the back is on the floor. We're going to do a little jog. Tap and tap. I'm tapping my cat, but hopefully you're tapping your toes on the floor. Tap. Now we're moving from the hip joints. So there is no lifting of that back on the floor. Start with both legs back together. Gently lower one and then the other before you let go. Now I'm going to give you a 2-second breather because we're going to go back into that again. So find that belly button connection. Get the lower back to the floor and float one leg. Connect deeper, float the other leg. Let's go into our jogger. 8 and 7 and 6 and 5. We have 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Both knees together. Gently place one foot down, place the other foot down, and shake everything out for a second. Okay, so we've had a little bit of a chance to rest now. We're going to get that belly button to connect. Now we're going to start with the modified version of our dead bug, and then we'll go into the advanced version. So you can choose if you stay with the modified version or you progress it, depending on how your body copes with the exercise. So keeping that slight tilt, pull the belly button into the spine, and find that pelvic floor. So I will not fart, I will not wheeze. You think of holding in that here and flow. We're going to float one leg up to the ceiling. Now I want you to take the same arm as leg up. You're going to do a little bit of a tester to begin with. You're going to reach the arm and leg away from each other, but I need you to check that you're not letting those ribs pop open. You're not letting that back arch off the floor. So think of holding a chopstick between the ribs and the hips so that that core stays connected to keep you stable, and then breathing it in. So we're going to do 8 reps here. Breathing out, 1 and 2. Breathe it in and 2. Again, out and 2 and in. So we're using that breath. Exhale, think of sinking to the floor. Inhale to bring it up. And again, exhale. Inhale to bring it up. And exhale. Inhale, trying to keep that back nice and still. Exhale. Inhale. So even though you're supported by this leg, there's still a lot of work that has to be done to keep those ribs knitted together. We've got one more on the side. Exhale. Inhale. Let's gently lower that foot down. Shake everything out for a second. Let's find that gentle tilt so we can sink the belly button to the floor and float the other leg and other arm up. So we go and reach. 2 and in. If you're not sure what's happening, put one finger on your hip bone and one finger on your rib. Now you want to check that those fingers aren't spreading apart. They're staying the same distance apart. And then that'll help you to see if your ribs are staying down. And up. Breathe out and reach. And up. Breathe out and reach. And up. Let's do 2 more like that. And reach. And up. And reach. To be honest, I think we've got another 2 to go. And up. Last 2, because we did 8 on the other side. Want to make sure you balance both sides. And up. We have 1 more to go. Breathing out. And up. And gently lower that leg down. Shake everything out for a second. So before we go on to our more advanced version, in which case you can actually do the same one that we did, we're going to do a slight change this time. So we're going to go zip up that tummy. Now, if you do the easier version, one leg lifts, but this time opposite arm lifts. The only difference with the advanced version is that you're going to hover both legs up. So we're going to still work with this leg and the opposite arm. So we're going to go over and up. So it's slightly harder because this leg's not supporting you. Over and up. So if you want to keep that foot on the floor, that's absolutely fine. Sometimes it takes a while to build that strength so that you can do this without the back moving on the floor. So rather work where you are, don't force it too fast. All the lovely noises from the street. Reach. Remember to use that breathing. And reach. And up. We have 2 more to go on this side. Exhale, reach. And up. We have 1 more to go. And reach. And up. We're going to start by putting the hand down, still keeping that connection, lower one and then the other, and then you can finally let it go, shake it all out for a moment, and we've got our last little set on the other side. So get that gentle tilt, belly button to the floor, float your other leg up. You either keep this one down or you float it too. Now you're going to have opposite arm to working leg. Are you ready? Breathe out. And up. You're working slow so you can really focus on what's going on in the body. You want energy and reach through the arm and the leg, but you don't want that to mean that you're arching the back of the floor and letting go of that core connection. Breathe out. And in. Breathe out. And in. We are halfway. Breathe out. And in. Only 4 more of this exercise to go. And in. Last 3. And reach. And in. 2 more to go. And reach. And in. We've got the last one. And reach. And in. Start off by lowering the arm. Lower one leg and then the other. There we go. Give it all a little bit of a rest. So that is our first session done, but we're going to just do a little bit of a stretch. If you've got a band, we're going to use the band to help us stretch. If you don't have a band, go get a t-shirt or a towel. Just makes it so much easier to get into that stretch position. So one leg is bent, one leg is up to the ceiling, and we're holding it in our hamstring stretch. Just take it to where you can feel that tension in the back of the muscle. And then just a couple of deep breaths as you allow that muscle to release. After a while, that tension should start to ease a little bit. Nice deep breath. See if you can pull it a little bit closer. From there, we're going to open it out to the side. We're going to let the other knee fall open because we want to try and stay even across the back of both hips. Use your tummy to keep your lower back to the floor. So we're aiming here for an inner thigh stretch. Again, a few deep breaths there. One more easy breath. From there, we're going to take it back up. Now you're going to extend the bottom leg and you're going to just hug this knee into your chest. As you extend that leg, I want you to really reach it far away from your hip. Pull this knee in as close as you can. You're just trying to stretch out those hip flexors. They work especially quite a lot when you're doing the work lying on your back. So we do need to release those. It's also a really good stretch for your lower back. And release that foot, place it on the ground, and let's take it into our stretch with the hamstring on the other side. So taking that leg up, getting your band, your t-shirt around the foot, and then just take it to where you can feel the tension kicks in that hamstring. Couple of deep breaths. Let's just do one more deep breath. From there, we're going to open that leg out to the side. Now remember, you want to let the other knee fall open, and you want to try and stay even across the back of both hips so that you can keep that stretch into the inner thigh and not rolling off towards one side where you won't feel it that much. So we're trying to really get the maximum stretch that we can. And still using that core to keep your lower back to the floor. And from there, take it up, take that band off, extend the bottom leg, and hug that knee into your chest. Now you're going to reach that bottom leg as far away from you as you can. Hug that knee close to your chest. And keep breathing into that stretch. Allow your shoulders and your neck to relax. And now we're just going to drop that leg, shake those legs out, and just give yourself a moment to release. Clasp your fingers, and I want you to stretch out through your hands above your head. Reach out through your feet, and now you can arch your back and really just lengthen your body. Nice long breath in and breathe out. To come up, try and roll onto your side and use your arms to bring you up to seated. Much better for your neck. And that is the end of the first of your 3 sessions of Pilates. I will see you in class number 2.